So after a lot of research and a lot of running around, I think I have this figured out. Now I have to give a cripe with Bedliner because even though it's been a day and I love the feel of this stuff. I mean, ignoring the color, this is really nice feel. It's not rugged, like you wouldn't catch your hand on this or anything. You couldn't get cut, but it's hard to describe. I think I heard someone describe it as kind of like an orange peel, maybe like kind of a tough orange peel, kind of like that. And it does. It smells good. It's interesting. It smells good, but it's obviously really nice stuff. Now everything here has dried pretty good. My problem being, of course, that I didn't realize I had the tintable, and I've seen a couple of people that seem to maybe have run the same situation where they were asking how would I tint this black, and other people would bring up that they sell a black one, but if you're like me, you didn't realize you bought the tintable, just an honest mistake. So to fix your problem, since I have a tintable color, I can make it any color I want. I'm gonna make it black, save the situation. The problem was U-Pole doesn't have anywhere. They don't have it listed anywhere. Not on here, and this isn't very good instruction on how to fill about what kind of paint you need, because if you're like me, I mean, they kind of claim this is easy for beginners, and for the most part I agree with that, except I don't know anything about paint, I don't know anything about mixing ratios. But after doing some research, going through comments and forums, I found that this stuff should work. This is the black, it's polyurethane. Let's see, I don't think I have my list here. I had it all written down. It's I'll make a video to make sure this all comes out right to fully explain how I did this if it works out. But if I'm right, this should tint it black the way I need it to. Finding what I needed and finding the measurements is what was the most difficult part. And also just explaining that this kind of explains to you to fill it to a ridge and not an actual measurement. 10% of the base coat tinter. See, I didn't really know what that meant. But what I figured is I have a black polyurethane base paint mix here. I'm going to use 60 milliliters of this stuff, which is I got 30 here. I'm going to use 2 of these, put it into the bottle, and then add the hardener. So it'll be a little less hardener, but doing it the other way around is confusing and you would need actual measurements. Doing it this way is actually just reducing the amount of hardener I'm going to use by a teensy bit, 60 milliliters of paint, which will displace some of the hardener that I would use. So I'm going to go ahead and crack this open. I'm going to get everything ready, all set to spray again, and I'm going to give it a shot on the first bottle, and if this goes well, then this will just save the entire project from the way I want it to look aesthetically, and the rest of it's going to go on there good. So I'm going to do that right now. Hopefully this works out. Hopefully all my digging is going to come out right, and I'll let you guys know. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right here. Look at this. That's what I wanted to see in the first place. So yep, it was just a simple problem of I had the tintable case, and when you don't tint the tintable case, it comes out milky gray. So unless you're looking for a milky gray color, I recommend getting the black or tinting it in such a way that you would want. Like again, I said, like if you had like a red truck or a red Wrangler, and you wanted to keep the whole red look, you could tint this stuff red. This would be red right now instead of black. And that would look really sweet. And I thought the yellow would look good, but I thought it would look even better with the whole black and yellow. But then again, I could always come back, some other time and do another 2 or 3 bottles of this stuff with yellow tint. So knowing how to tint now, really cool. This stuff is awesome. I'm loving it so far. I mean, I haven't even put it to the test yet, so I shouldn't praise it just yet. But I've heard very good things about it. As I was going, I realized, okay, one thing you might want to do in case if you're using little NyQuil cups to measure out, you better put all the paint in them at once. I found that a little more than the 60 was good because I'd done like 2 cups of these, roughly, probably a little bit more, I thought, and it still looked a little sort of like a chocolatey color, and I wanted it to be like a black. So you might want to put just you can kind of peek in the bottle when you're done with it and see what kind of color it looks like, and that's pretty much what you're gonna get. So I recommend if once you found a color that you want, measure out the rest and put the rest in, and don't put in the hardener yet. And as you go, just put them in. And then I did the one coat with the one bottle, and I stopped yesterday, obviously for obvious reasons. I think I would have gone like right now. I probably would have gone a bottle and a half. That would have been a full coat for this. You can see I clearly missed an area like that because I was having a little bit of trouble getting in here. I still can't decide where to start. Like I came at this the second time, and if you're doing this, I kind of recommend getting up to about where the handbrake would be, and sort of try to get your best up and along there, underneath where the foot would be, right? The foot pedal as you come in. What would you call that? Where the guard would be, right there. Those are hard places to get, and getting up in there is really tricky because you really don't want to tilt the gun, but you got the whole bottle on the gun, so you can't really get in there too well. So those are the areas I found tough. Also, a note, if you're doing this, I realized as I started to go here, areas like this is hard to get, so don't start here and then try to move in here because you're going to also hit this in the process. Like you can see I did. Start in here, get it real good in here. If you hit a little bit here, then it's okay. You can just clean it up later. I'm not going for really good looks up in here because, obviously I clearly missed all that. I'm going to have to crouch down up here and try and get that. Be wary because it is splattering when I'm over here, shooting this way. Things about, let's say it's about, what do you think, 4 feet right there, 3-4 feet. It's going to overspray. So, obviously you need to mask off stuff unless you want bits and pieces of paint all over your Jeep or your truck bed. Whatever you're doing, whatever project you're doing this on. Obviously, I think a Jeep tub is a little bit more complex because you got all these things to worry about. With a truck bed, you could just tape off willy-nilly and then just go at it. But you can see here, it was actually getting in pretty good up here. I just need to, when I start again, once I fully let this dry, which is an hour recommended, which I'm going to wait for, I think I'm going to deepen the color a little bit more just because if I'd done 2 coats of black right now, this would be looking good. But instead, I only did 1 coat of black and 1 coat of milky gray. So it kind of didn't look awesome, not as black as I want it to be, and I only have 2 bottles left. Not that, yeah, I think I'd recommend, I think 4 is going to be enough. We're going to have to wait and see before I make a decision. But if you're doing a Jeep tub and you're going to do more, like you're going to do your hard top or you're going to do your bumpers like I wanted to, it's a good thing I'm not doing my bumpers because I would definitely recommend more. I would recommend getting 2 more bottles. It might even be cheaper to buy a whole other kit and then just have 2 more for anything else. So just trying to get some tips as I'm going along here. I'm going to know a lot more by the time I'm done. But this is so much nicer. I'm so glad I figured out this problem before it could really become a problem. And it's going to come out not only the way I want it to be feel-wise and like how everything, all the benefits of the Bedliner, but it's also going to be aesthetically black the way I want it. So I can see this being good. You can see I did get a couple areas where I was standing a little too close, or maybe I didn't pan quite well. Obviously, this is giving me a little bit of trouble. I got this moving onto here, so I need to, when this is dry, I'm going to move this and try to get better back here so I can lean that up against that. I might end up having to do another bottle to get some of the really tough areas because I want to focus on those next, the areas I've completely missed, and then a final bottle to hopefully kind of get everything out. I figure it'll probably take half the bottle to get all the areas I missed, and then I can kind of go more. Obviously, you can see this place where yellow is coming through. But I think it's going to be enough. I do think it's going to be enough. Yeah, getting up there is a little tricky. I need to kind of bend in here. Next time I start, I'm going to start standing here, and I'm going to get in through all this. So that's my plan there. Areas like where the mount for the jack would be is kind of tricky because you got something like that doesn't come out. But for the most part, it goes on really good. Even sprays, I think, holding on the trigger all the way. I think I had it set to just above 40. Like I'd say, I had it at like around 45, maybe just under 50. Seemed to be the good pressure for in here. They recommend somewhere between, I think they say 40 to 70. I would definitely not recommend going over 60. That would be, maybe you could pull it up, but I think that'd be too much. I think this is easier because there are spots here where I'm going to get real close, and I don't want to have a ton of PSI just blowing out at me here. But yeah, you can see I want to get up well in there, so it's going to be the areas I target next with the next bottle. It's going to be areas like this where I just have not hit. But yeah, I mean, this already looks so good. I'm just excited if you can't tell. This is coming together real good. I can already see the outcome just being nice. I need to let this dry. Oh yeah, they came out so good. This is going to be great. But I'm gonna close this off for right here now. I'm gonna let this dry, and then I'm gonna come back and do another bottle or two, and we'll see how it looks with another bottle and or the final coat. Okay, so this is the third coat, technically second coat of the black. You can see right off the bat there's some of those shiny glary spots where it was the end of the bottle there, and I was trying to get the last bit out of it, and that was a little bit of a mistake. I had tested it on a little piece of paper, and I thought I had some more, but it kind of just spit out at the end there. I did stir on the inside this time. You can see I got much better up there. I'm having a little bit of trouble getting past the steering pedals. Just the pedals. Because tipping it, you will, there's a tip on the gun here. You can see where it kind of dripped out. I wiped it off already. It will drip out a little, not like just full on flow, but it will drip. And I recommend, being careful about that. I knew that coming in thanks to other people who have done this before me. I learned from them, so I gotta give them credit. And my goal next time, I have one bottle left. I like the color, but I want it to be a bit darker. The reason it's still not, like here, obviously you can see that some of the yellow's still showing through because just didn't get enough of a coat on there. But areas where I hit it good, it looks good. I still want it just a teeny bit darker, so I might add a teensy bit more paint into the last one just to try to get a good even coat. Because if I'd done all four from the beginning black, this would be a little bit deeper than it is now. The tailgate is pretty much good. That'll probably be the last thing I do. For the most part, just the areas I missed, you can see, like, I failed to get up in here again. What I found was getting fairly close, not like, put the gun to the metal, but I would get pretty close and I would just kind of give it a squirt. Not a spray, but like kind of a squirt, a squirt, a squirt. That was how I was getting up in these really tough areas. You can see I actually hit up there. I missed some of that. Once this dries, I'm going to give this a good 2 hours to dry. I'm going to do this later tonight. And I'm going to be doing a lot of tipping to the gun, so. Because it's the last bottle, I want to make sure I at least get everything so there's no, like, outright yellow showing. If there's a little bit, like, where you could see it kind of coming through there a bit, it's not the end of the world. I could always do it again, just not going to be anytime soon. So I want to get this as good as it could possibly be right now. I got some, heavy sprays right there when I was trying to reach over and get in here. So I definitely, next time I'm going to be getting in here. And I'd recommend this for you too. If you still have areas like that, I'm going to really get in here, turn the bottle. I've been kind of hesitant about turning it because I didn't want it to leak, but at this point I'm down to one bottle and it's coming out good, but I still have some areas that just haven't even been hit at all. So that's my goal for next time, to get up in those really tough areas, and then I'm just going to try to give everything an even sweep. The rails here look really good. I'm missing some of this here. I got the other side here, so next time I'm going to pull this back and I'm going to get up in there where I haven't gotten yet. Again, if you could remove this wire, this would make it much easier for you. The rails over here look pretty good. The inside here is good, except for where I'm having trouble. I'm not planning on going all the way up there. That's not my goal, but to get the majority, so when you're just glancing at it, you're like, oh yeah, it looks like it would go all the way up, even if it doesn't really. And obviously areas like that aren't too big of a deal, especially areas like I did here really good. And that's going to be covered by the console, so it's a little silly on my part, but I got to remember that there are, the whole console is going to be there, and then you got the seats here. It's mostly the over everything over here that I want to get good, but it's coming out good. I'm just a little timid that I might not have enough. The last bottle that I just used now, the third one, went a pretty long way, so hopefully the last one will be enough to get all the little areas that I have failed to get up and around there, and then I can just do an even coat and it'll come out good. Somehow I missed that right in the middle. I'm also the earplugs. Apart from one falling out at one point, the earplugs work really well, and so do the Q-tips. Me improvising because I didn't have enough earplugs to use newspaper is sort of working. It's working well. They're staying in there, but I had to, when I was going spraying, I had to bend these back. A lot of these are going to be covered by plugs anyways, but any place where a newspaper might really cover up a big amount, I've had to bend it back a little bit, so keep that in mind if you decide to, I don't need earplugs, I'm going to use newspaper because it's cheaper. I recommend, if you've already come this far and spent all this money, I recommend spending the extra bucks and getting a huge pack of earplugs, because it'll just save you so much hassle. Just make things easier. Less worry is always good. But yeah, I just got those really tough areas to get left. I'm going to be targeting those next. And then hopefully just even coat this last one, and I can call this a job well done.